and just remember who you are. And you just tell them who you are, because that's how acting works. This is the only course जो आपको झूठ से नहीं मिलेगा admission. That thing I know for sure. If you're honest with them and you tell them कि नहीं आता है मुझे, accept it. There is no harm in accepting if you do not know.
So today we have with us Ankita Sood, who qualified the JET 2019 FTII entrance exam for the acting, and she was the first rank holder in the overall merit list of 10 students who get selected at FTII. So today she would be talking about her experience of preparing for the entrance exam, which is not easy, because normally around 2,000 people apply every year for 10 seats. It's one of the most prestigious entrance tests in filmmaking. And she would be sharing her experience about how she prepared for the entrance exam. Then also the second stage is the audition round, where normally around 80 students get a call, and finally 40 students are being invited to the FTII campus for an orientation program as well as interview. So Ankita, when you decided that okay, you want to join the FTII, so first thing is the entrance exam you have to qualify. So what were your steps how did you prepare for objective question answer paper as well as the 70 marks, which is domain specific subjective?
Okay, so before I proceed on to answering any questions, I would thank you so much for having me here. Also, the thing is that you should know that where I come from, because acting is the only course wherein it's all subjective. It comes from your experience. It comes from how you've lived your life and what all experiences you have. So all my answers are coming from the way I have lived my life and my background. So I'm from Amritsar. My schooling was done in Amritsar, and I have done my graduation from Delhi University and in journalism. After that, I've worked for 2.5 years in Bombay in the film industry behind the camera with various production houses. And after that, in 2019, I decided that I have to give this a try, because my heart was longing to be an actor and I always wanted to come on screen. So that's how my journey began. So now coming to the first question that you have for me is how to prepare for the written examination. So there are two sections, 30/70. One is the objective and the other one is the subjective. For objective, I refer to your book, because all the general knowledge questions, all the questions were very much there, and it had really helped me to pass the objective questions.
How did you come to know about that book?
I got to know it from your page only, sir, from Facebook.
Okay.
Yes. So it really helped me. Apart from that, I think one must also keep him or herself updated with general knowledge things about the industry, and also which are the general knowledge questions. So one can go on and read about all the film festivals that happen around the world, and about the books that have been adapted, and about the movies that are adapted, screenplays, and all of that. So that is the objective questions. Objective question is, now nobody can predict what is going to come on the objective paper. So आप जितना पढ़ेंगे उतना कम है उसके लिए. But I would surely say that that book has been a nice thing. Now coming to the subjective. Should I go on for subjective? Okay. So the subjective questions are questions like, जितना मुझे याद है, वो questions ऐसे थे कि, which is your favorite character? Explain about your favorite character from the film. और अगर टेक्निकल क्वेश्चंस की बात करूँ तो नाट्य शास्त्र में रसास की बात करी थी कि आप रसास की जो है वो डिस्क्रिप्शन आप उन्हें उनके बारे में बताएं, या फिर ऐसा कौन सा कैरेक्टर है जो आपको लगता है कि आप ज्यादा बेहतर प्ले कर सकते थे उस तरीके से, या फिर आपकी बेस्ट फिल्म कौन सी और आपका बेस्ट डायरेक्टर कौन सा है और वो क्यों है. So with a proper reasoning. And the question that I loved was why you want to become an actor. Why do you want to have pursue acting for your career? So to be able to answer all of that questions, sorry.
So since subjective is very subjective, so they always, there are certain kind of questions which are a kind of a repetitive. In the sense, there's a question like, which is your favorite actor? Choose one of them, and then select, describe why do you like it. And every year they keep changing that. Right. So So something like that, which is a very important question because there's a pattern into it. So how did you go about appreciating a film from an acting point of view? Because most of the articles are about film appreciation, not about the actors.
Right.
Could you talk
Exactly.
about that?
Okay. So yeah. So for that, I was first of all very intimidated in the written examination because everybody, I gave it in Bombay, and everybody was talking about world cinema. कोई हॉलीवुड में गॉडफादर से नीचे बात भी नहीं कर रहा था. एंड आई हैड नो आइडिया, आई हैड नो एक्सपोजर टू वर्ल्ड सिनेमा. मैंने बहुत सारी फिल्में नहीं देखी थी. सो दोज आर फ्यू हु आर थिंकिंग कि नहीं हमसे नहीं होगा बिकॉज हमने इतनी सारी फिल्में नहीं देखी है. ट्रस्ट मी, द आंसर्स आई रोट वर टू पाकिस्तानी फिल्म एंड इंडियन फिल्म, वन इंडियन फिल्म. सो आई रोट honestly about what I felt and how I saw, not as an actor's point of view, but to which what films मुझे कहानियां कौन सी अच्छी लगी या मैंने उसको अपने आप से रिलेट किस तरीके से किया. इन टर्म्स ऑफ एक्टिंग जहाँ पे ऐसा क्वेश्चन था कि मैं कौन सा किरदार मुझे लगता है कि मैं बेटर प्ले कर सकती हूँ, वो मेरा इंटरप्रिटेशन था कि जब मैंने वो फिल्म देखी और मुझे लगा कि हाँ ये इस कैरेक्टर से मैं रिलेट करती हूँ, उसकी बैकग्राउंड को मैं समझती हूँ, या मैं नहीं भी समझती तो ये मेरे लिए चैलेंजिंग है और इसको निभाना चाहती हूँ उस किरदार को. तो मेरी अंडरस्टैंडिंग क्या है उस एक्टर के प्रति वो मैंने लिखा, नॉट एज एन एक्टर पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, पर मैंने क्या समझा बेसिकली. ऑनेस्टली अपने आंसर्स जिस तरीके से आप फिल्म देख रहे हैं उसको एज इट इज आप उस अपने पन्ने पे उतार दीजिए. तो और ये बिल्कुल मत सोचिएगा, डोंट ट्राई टू इम्प्रेस देम with big names of directors and बड़े-बड़े नाम और बड़ी-बड़ी फिल्में. That has not worked for me. और आप जितने सच्चे रहेंगे, जितने लोकल रहेंगे, उतने wonders करेंगे.
Also coming to the second stage, which is the orientation. So almost like
Right.
80 students get the call for the orientation. So they also send you a piece which you have to prepare of the monologue. So talk about the piece. How did you go about it, choosing a particular piece? And what were the other things which were asked in the interview with you for 10 to 15 minutes in National School of Drama, which happened for a day?
Yes, so it was in Delhi, National School of Drama, wherein one piece they had sent, there was an option of choosing from a Hindi script and a English monologue. So I chose the English monologue. So I won't say a strategy, but what I was aiming at, that I want to show them my range as an actor. That one piece that they gave me was a piece wherein this girl thinks that she is not pretty. So she thinks less of herself. So that was the piece. And the other piece that I chose was Begum Jan's piece, which was very strong. This woman is very strong and she can fight the world all alone. So Vidya Balan's monologue I chose. And the other thing that they ask you to do is to you can perform your talent other than acting, whatever you have. What is it? Is it dance, poetry, singing, comedy, whatever you have, you can showcase that. Other than that, there were like little improvisations which happened from the panelists. They asked me to perform something.
How many people were in the interview panel over there?
There were three.
And was there anyone from FTII faculty also?
Yes, our HOD was there.
Okay. And who were the other two people?
One was Satyajit Sharma, the actor Satyajit Sharma, and the other one was a lady from South. I don't remember her name.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Please carry on.
Yeah. So I want to talk about one thing in the interview. The moment I walked in, everyone was so prepared. So everybody has their own style of preparing. Somebody wants to use the props, so they carry all the props. If they have music instruments, you can carry music instruments. They are so cooperative that they give you proper time to set your things, to set your props, and they make you feel comfortable. So do not hesitate to showcase what you have. But don't go over the top. There's a thin line between going over the top and just showing what you are. So so how I prepared for my scene, that I did not go into the interview room with any props or anything. I thought that I am going to internalize the things, internalize the characters. How I did that, I just wore a black costume, and I thought that this girl is very pretty, but she thinks that she is not pretty. So that went for the that matched both of the monologues. So the other thing when happened, then I quickly changed to my like characters, switched between the characters, and I did not take time to set the props or change anything. And I was listening to them. So Sir Satyajit Sir was telling a lot of things. So I was attentively listening to them. If he's saying that, okay, I want you to do this, there's a scene. So I, without asking, without overthinking, I just did what they said. So just they instruct and action. So
Okay.
that was my interview round.
But you did not
I just did what they said.
you did not hear any kind of musical composition or poetry, because over the last 1 year I realized that you can sing poetry as well as
I
recite.
did.
So did you recite any poetry over there also during the time of interview?
Yes, sir.
In-
It was not a poetry piece. Sorry, sir.
no, what I mean to say, during this NSD orientation,
Yeah.
did you also
Yes, sir.
recited some poetry over there?
Not the poetry piece, but yes, in the extra talent that I showcased, I told them a story that I had written.
Okay, okay. So
Yeah.
beside that, there was some specific questions they asked you beside the performing the piece which you already have prepared, the piece which they gave, and this poetry thing. Was there any question, specific question? Do you recollect?
So actually, they just observe you. They don't ask questions. They keep it for the interview round, the questions.
Okay.
What they do is that they give you their input if they want a scene from you. So what happened with me that they wanted me to perform a scene. So they gave me the setup that this is the scene, this is the character, these are the people and they give you a situation. So otherwise they don't give any input or they don't give any suggestions.
Question.
Nothing like that.
And the similar kind of audition also happened in the Pune also, right? There were two centers in
Yes,
India.
sir. Right.
So Pune was the FTI was the center, or some other place was the center?
Last year, as far as I know, FTI was a center.
Was the
This
center.
year, it will be SRFTI.
Okay. No, what I'm saying is the orientation part where they call people in NSD plus Pune. So during that Pune first call, was it a FTI was the center, or some other place they auditioned those people?
Sir, you're talking about two things: orientation
I'm
and
talking
interview.
about at the time when 50% of the people were called at NSD and 50%
And
people
and the
were
rest of the people, yes, sir.
called Pune. So in Pune, where did they took this audition?
So in the campus only.
The campus only. Okay. So after that,
Yes.
there was a final round of
Hmm.
interview and call it as an audition or orientation is the
Orientation.
orientation program. For how
Orientation.
many days you people were there in FTI for the orientation? And could you just bifurcate
Yes.
that into day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4? What
Hmm.
exactly happened there in terms of
Yes.
what happened over there in 5 days?
Right. So it was 5 days. The first one was for the documentation. Nothing happened like as in there was only documentation, document verification, and the medical checkup. So all of that happened on the first day. The fifth day was for the interview round. So now we are left with the 3 days,
Okay.
which were the performance based. So first, second, and third day were quite similar. Apart from that, the third day had the major performance, which is called the location-based improvisation.
Okay.
So the first day, every day started with a physical movement. 2 घंटे की हमारी physical class, physical movement से शुरू होता था, and उसके बाद हमें break मिलता था for the breakfast and to freshen up. Then we used to come back, and there were exercises that we did. Now there were no exercises which were technical. So nobody has to have, I do not have any experience in theater or in acting. So I just don't get intimidated if people around you are professional actors and they are professional theater actors. Do not get intimidated. So what happened was कि वो बहुत basic exercises देते हैं आपको कि आप उन्हें किस तरीके से receive करते हैं उस information को, और आप किस तरीके की कहानियां कहते हैं, आपकी बॉडी लैंग्वेज क्या है, आप कितनी ऑनेस्टी से अपनी बात आगे रखते हैं. So जिस तरीके से, if I tell you an example of the exercise, my first exercise was that they give you 2 chits. It's very fair. The whole process is extremely fair. You're given numbers. They do not even know your name. So you're given number tags. My number tag was 2. So then, if number 2 is coming for the performance, I was given 2 chits. One had my character and the other had the situation. So then I have to perform. Taking these 2, I had to perform. So I got that there's a dumping ground and I'm a journalist. So I have to report about that situation. Very simple, basic. There is nothing like you have to, there's nothing technical. So there were a series of exercises. There's an actor's dance. They play a music and you have to tell a story. You don't have to be a dancer for that. It's an actor's dance. You have to tell it through your gestures, through your movement, through your body language. Other than that, there were fun exercises. There were group exercises. For example, there was a script which was given to us.
Interrupt one thing. You said there were some fun exercises. So what were these fun exercises?
Fun exercises. Yeah. So you have to tell a sentence into 3 different ways. So there was a whole script which had the same sentences. So, and we were 3 people. So then all 3 of us have to also weave a story around it. So when you work with actors and when you do it on the spot, it becomes very interesting because the whole point is the give and take. It's not about मैं अपना talent पूरा वहाँ दिखा दूँ, but also to receive it, what the other person is giving you. So you have to understand that why is that exercise designed in such a way, because there is a reason.
Sure.
That they want to do that exercise. Other than that, there was a very interesting exercise, which was there are 2 people. It's called freeze and release.
Sure.
So one has to do something, and then the other one joins in. Then the other person freezes, and the other person releases. So it was a very fun exercises. There were.
So you said that there were some group exercises you had to do. So what were those group exercises?
For example, there was an exercise which I remember in which they gave us a situation. For example, there's a scene of a hospital. So now, what all characters do you see in a hospital? So then you have to become all those characters, and then we were seen together. So there are 5 people in the group. Then there was this very fun exercise in which you have to sell yourself. And 2 people are speaking at the same time. So how do you make yourself like the other person should hear you? So how do you do that? So then you have to sell yourself, which is the entire acting game. So yes, it's very nice.
So how many groups are being formulated for these group exercises? Out of 40 students invited, how many groups were there in which you were supposed to do this?
Okay, so the thing is that they are not segregated on any basis. Like we all sit together. All the 40 students were together. There were not 40, there were 33, 4. So all of us sit together in a room, and then the chits are given. So on the spot, it's the chit system. Again, very fair. Whoever comes, you have to accept him or her as your partner, and then get along with them.
Okay. So when these exercises were going on, were there a industry expert also who was observing you people beside the faculty member?
Yes.
Who were the
Yes. So there were two coordinators for this entire thing, and they were very good. One was for the physical movement, and I don't remember his name. There was Shashi sir, and there was one more. He was extremely good for the physical exercises. And other than that, we had Adil Aman sir with us.
Okay. So for the physical movement, you said that you had some physical movement exercises. So what kind of physical movement you were supposed to perform there in terms of an exercise?
So they were not marked. The morning session was not marked. Like it was marked, but it was not like you have to perform something. It was a joint effort.
Okay.
Like
he's
just giving you instructions. Yes, just warming up. So he would sometimes choose an exercise or sometimes do the basic theater warming exercises with us so as to prepare us for the day, because it was very hectic.
So what time it start in the morning, your exercises?
Oh, so basically they told us that if you get through these 3 days, that means you can actually come to FTII. At that time, I thought they are just kidding वो हमें सिर्फ डरा रहे हैं कि ऐसा थोड़ी स्केड्यूल हो सकता है कि सुबह 7 बजे शुरू हो और रात को 8-9 बजे तक चल रहा है. ऐसा नहीं हो सकता. But it actually happened. It started at 7. We used to get free after like at around 5 o'clock. And then there's a general screening which we have to attend, because in the interview round they can ask questions from that film that you have watched also. So you
Okay.
have to watch that film.
So what time the
So
breakfast was served over there if you start at 7?
So 7 to 9 physical movement. Then we used to get a break for 45 minutes and then come back quickly at 10 o'clock and then we start.
Okay. So as you said that there was a screening, general screening at 5 o'clock for everybody, and you were
6
supposed
o'clock.
to,
Yeah.
6 o'clock, and you were supposed to watch those films, and next day they can ask any question. So which were the films which was screened at your time when you was there for?
So there were short films. There was Kramshaha and there was Bicycle Thief. And yeah, the other day, the third day was also FTII films.
So there were diploma films or there were short films
There
by
were diploma films. There were diploma films.
diploma films?
Yeah, one
And
day was diploma.
okay, so when next day the interaction would happen about the film, what kind of question they would ask about diploma film which you have seen?
No, there was never an interaction about the films, and they were not specifically for the acting students. They
Okay.
were not screened because our orientation was happening. It was a general screening because they want you to know the routine. If you come to FTI, you should know how things work and how the day looks like. And trust me, the day looks like that in FTI. We start at 7 o'clock still, and not now because of the lockdown. But yes, we start by 7 o'clock and then it goes on till 9 o'clock in the night.
Okay.
So they just want you to get familiar, and then there are no questions, no technical questions that they ask you about the film. But they maybe there were people who told me that they asked that, what do you think about that film? How did you perceive the characters, or what is your take on the film?
So there was how many people were there in the interview panel?
So there were 5 to 7 people.
5 to 7. And was there any well-known face from the industry or some ex-well-known FTI graduate in the panel?
So Benjamin Gilani.
Benjamin Gilani was there. So as you said that different timing were given to the different people. So in the interview,
Right.
what specifically they asked in your case? And how
Okay.
much the interview
So
finally matters, because they already have observed you for 3 days. So do
yes.
on the basis of that observation, some list is already being prepared, or is it the final interview which is the ultimate decision to enroll a student, or was it before performance, before the interview performance? How much is the ratio between both?
Okay, so yes, sir. So it's a fixed ratio. Like every exercise has its own marking. It's not like everything is like based on the interview. It's your everyday. It's every second in the campus. People also observe you in the campus, how you are behaving with other people and how you are getting along with other people, with your seniors, with everyone. So they take feedback. And the entire purpose, before I come to your question, I want to just tell people, whoever is preparing for do not worry about the orientation round. It's nothing technical. You just listen to them and do the exercise. I remember there was one exercise that I think will never forget in my life. There was this exercise wherein we have to just pick up a chit. The situation, we are playing ourselves in that exercise. We just have to pick up a chit, open a door, and enter into that situation. So my situation, nobody thinks of a situation like that. My situation was that my dad has died and I enter into his room.
Okay.
And you are not given time to prepare. You have to do it on the spot. So then you don't overthink. It's your instincts, like whatever works for you. My instincts work for me. So, and that was a talky thing. You can talk. But I remember I did not use any words. I remember that I walked into the door, in the room, and I just switched on the TV. And there was match playing. And I remember I had a story in my mind that my dad was watching the match a day before, and he's no more now. So that match reminds me of him, and all the commentary is going on, and it's noise in my head. I just shout and I call my brother. That was it. I did not I did not speak, I did not use words for the exercise. I was just in the situation fully. So one thing is that you weave a story. Whatever comes to your mind, you take that. बहुत बार कंफ्यूजन क्रिएट हो जाती है कि ये स्टोरी लूं या ये लूं, बहुत सारी ऑप्शंस आ जाती हैं आपके दिमाग में कि मैं बेटर क्या लगेगा ना सोचते हुए आप फटाफट से किससे कनेक्ट करते हो।
Sure.
आपको ऑनेस्टली सबसे पहले किसके अंदर सिचुएशन में जाने के अंदर आसानी हो रही है, यू जस्ट गो अहेड विद दैट सिचुएशन एंड जस्ट लिसन टू देम। आई एम टेलिंग दिस अगेन अगेन, you just be attentive, just be aware. There is nothing technical in that. Just go with your instinct, go with your what your heart says, and just say, and don't try to impress anybody there. Do not.
Also,
That
as
doesn't work.
yeah, you said there's a marking for each and every exercise, which is brilliant because that's how sometimes people get nervous in the interview. So in the interview panel,
Sir, sorry, sir. The last location-based exercise is the most important.
sure.
I do not know what percentage it holds.
Yeah.
Yes. So what happened was, like we are different groups and we are given different locations. Everything before that happens in a studio.
Sure.
And the location-based exercise happens in the campus. So different locations are allotted. And then there are groups of 5 people or 4 people, 6 people, like depends on the number of people who are there for the orientation. So then they're given different locations and then they have to do a scene, improvisation there. So honestly, my improvisation did not go well because what we planned, what we thought, it did not go well and we did not even receive a very good feedback. But individually, they marked you. They are looking. So from my group, we are 2 people from my group only that we got in.
Okay.
From in the final round. So I was heartbroken. I thought कि अब तो नहीं होगा. But honestly, I was relating to the character so well that I went inside my room and I changed because I wanted to feel like that character. So I wore clothes like that. I had it, and fortunately, and so I dressed up like that, and I was giving my 100%. I know I was there, but overall that did not work. So I think, and it does. I'm saying it from my point of view that it did not work. Maybe it has worked for them. So do not judge yourself. Do not. Because अगर मैं ये सोचकर बैठ जाती तो मेरा अगले दिन इंटरव्यू भी खराब हो जाता. So do not judge yourself कि आप वापस जाके अपने आप को जज कर रहे हो because फिर आप अपना दूसरा दिन खराब कर दोगे उस चक्कर में. तो वो मत करो. Just go with the flow. Be in that moment.
And again, I'm coming to the interview thing. So
interview round, yes.
The interview with the panelist.
Yes. So it depends on what's your background. What do you know about life? What have you done so far? So if you're a technical person and you tell them that you've done theater or you've studied acting, then they ask questions according to that. And because I told them very clearly that I'm a non-actor and a fresher, so they asked me questions like, why do you want to become an actor? Now that is a very important question. You should be very clear in your head.
That is a question which everybody and anybody can ask.
Yes, anybody. So you have to be very much prepared for that. Then they ask you that if you do not get selected, they asked me that question. So will you appear next year?
Can you repeat what did they ask you?
Yes, if you do not get through this time, will you appear again in the examination? Yeah. So then there were other. My answer was no.
No, you will not. Okay.
Because yeah. So now.
This time.
No, not that. Now see, whatever came to my mind, I answered honestly. तो आप ऑनेस्टी से उन्हें बता दें. मैंने उनको बता दिया कि फिर शायद मैं वापस मुंबई में ही अपना काम कंटिन्यू करूंगी एंड आई विल फाइंड वेज बिकॉज आई फील कि अगर दिस इज माय टाइम, अगर मैंने इसमें निकाला तो निकाला, वरना यही एक माध्यम नहीं है जिसके जरिए मैं अपने मंजिल तक पहुंच सकती हूँ. देयर आर अदर वेज ऑल्सो. तो मैं कोशिश करती रहूंगी, मैं अपना सपना नहीं छोड़ूंगी, बट मैं अपना तरीका बदल लूंगी, रास्ता बदल.
That's very inspiring because 40 people would come over there and 10 would get selected and then rest what they need to do. So they also need to think like that. There should be a plan. So my last question is that I remember after your orientation, when you received the call for orientation, we had certain video lectures recorded for our classroom coaching and online coaching. And I also send you the link of that. Were those lectures some helpful for you for preparing for the orientation?
Yes, they were. Because होता क्या है कि आप FTI के लिए, FTI ऐसा इकलौता इंस्टीट्यूट है जिसके बारे में जब आपको अपेयर करना होता है तो आपको पता ही नहीं होता कि आप कहाँ से पढ़ें, आप क्लूलेस होते हैं. तो उसने मुझे डायरेक्शन दिया. You were continuously connected with me on the phone.
Sure.
And it gave me confidence. वो वीडियोस देखकर मुझे कहीं ना कहीं कॉन्फिडेंस आ रहा था कि हाँ, आपको डायरेक्शन मिल जाती है. आपको पक्के आंसर्स तो कहीं से भी नहीं मिलेंगे.
Sure.
बिकॉज अब फिर से फॉर्मेट बदल गया है. आई डोंट नो अभी क्या होने वाला है ओरिएंटेशन में, बट आपको जो है वो एक जरिया मिल जाता है. तो मुझे डायरेक्शन मिल गई थी उन वीडियोस के.
Those lectures gave you some insight about how to go about it.
हाउ टू गो अबाउट. जैसे कि एक और इंटरव्यू में क्वेश्चंस आते हैं कि हु इज योर फेवरेट डायरेक्टर या हु ऑल आर योर फेवरेट एक्टर्स. सो यू हैव टू बी प्रिपेयर्ड. अभी वो आप उसके बारे में प्रिपेयर कर सकते हो ना कि आपको कौन पसंद है या आपको कौन सी फिल्में पसंद है और क्यों पसंद है.
Sure.
तो ये जरूरी है. तो वो वीडियोस के जरिए.
Sure. So anything specific? I mean, there is no formula as such, but
Yeah.
anything specific which I may not have asked you and you want to tell to the student who are preparing for orientation or maybe they will be preparing for next, anything which you
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because I've been given this opportunity, so I want to tell them that I was so nervous. I thought that I will not be able to make it because I was so intimidated. The moment I walked into FTII and I saw all the professional people and all the students, they're rinsed with knowledge and wisdom. They know everything about cinema. So the moment you walked in, you're intimidated and you think low of yourself. I'm just saying that do not look around. Have the horses blind and just remember who you are. And you just tell them who you are because that's how acting works. This is the only course जो आपको झूठ से नहीं मिलेगा admission. That thing I know for sure. If you're honest with them and you tell them कि नहीं आता है मुझे, accept it. There is no harm in accepting if you do not know. But do not try to impress them. कि आप बड़े बड़े नाम ले लें फिर आप उनके बारे में बात नहीं कर पाए तो that doesn't work. Doesn't work at all. वो फिर वो because they're much smarter. They're more smarter. They're smarter than you.
Okay. So guys, this was Ankita Sood, and if you really like this video, so do press the bell and subscribe to our channel because you will get the notifications and many more update videos like this. So do that. Thank you very much.